Hey there guys, welcome back to Hursty Games and welcome to a video today where I'm going to review some of your guys' concepts for starter teams in FIFA 23. Recently on our streams we've been looking obviously on foot, been looking at the player database that we have access to us right now, and we've been making some fun concept teams, again teaching and learning how the chemistry system works and how to best make the most of the new chem system and what it really opens up your teams and hybrids and what they can be now. And I said on stream, if you guys want me to have a look at what you're considering to make for starter teams, then you guys can send me them on Twitter and we'll have a little look through them. So we'll probably do a couple more videos like this, and if you want your team to potentially be reviewed or me to have a little look at what you're doing, all you need to do is at me on Twitter and use the hashtag Hursty23 with a screenshot of the team you're thinking of making. So today we've got three teams that I'm going to look through. I'm going to show you the teams that people are putting together and then the changes that I would potentially make, and then try and give like a ballpark figure as to a guess, and it will be a guess because the market could be absolutely ridiculous as to what prices are going to be like. So without further ado, if you enjoyed today's video, then please do leave a like and it supports me, the video, and the channel out a whole bunch. Hit that sub button and turn notifications on to be told anytime that we upload a video. But for now, let's get into the teams. Just before we look at team one though, let's hear from today's video sponsor. Do you need some more coins for your FIFA Ultimate Team? Then look no further than U7Buy. They're the cheapest and most reliable place to get your FIFA Ultimate Team coins. And if you use code Hursty at checkout, you'll get yourself an extra discount. I want to say a massive thank you to U7Buy for sponsoring us. Don't forget that code Hursty. Now let's get back to the video. Okay, so team number one here comes from our man Diogo. You can see the squad he is currently running here. I know for a fact he is a Porto fan, so I was not surprised to see a Porto player in there at the very least. But the first thing I'd say off the bat here is obviously everybody is on chemistry, everybody ticks all the boxes they need to tick. There's a couple of, like, you can see overhanging players of things that you could tweak if you wanted to, because they don't add to certain chemistry points, and there's a few other options you can do to kind of replace here. There were a couple of standout things for me in this team that would be things I would change. First of all, Ruben Neves for me, just I don't think is going to be particularly usable. He's got incredible passing, and I think the dribbling, shooting, defense, whatever, that's okay. 58 pace, even with a big old boost, you're not hitting 70 pace. And so for me, Neves is somebody that I would immediately look to take out. I just don't think he is going to be good enough for the game. And the good thing with that is there is an immediate replacement, but we'll get onto the replacements or what I would change for the team in a moment. Cucurella is another player that I think is a little bit underwhelming. I'm not the biggest fan of his card. I don't think it looks that incredible. And I think there's definitely changes that I would make here. Again, with a chem style, you put like a shadow on that or a catalyst if you wanted to be a little bit cheaper. And you are sitting underneath that 90 mark. It's not then that bad. 86 or so isn't terrible. But for fullbacks, you're kind of wanting 80 plus to start. And then the boost takes you to around 90 plus. That's kind of more ideal. But for me personally, I would say those are the main two problems here. I think both strikers can be fixed. I'm going to say fixed with chem styles. I think Fred's a great shout. I think Rafa's a great shout. St. Just is going to be very expensive, is something I will say off the bat as well. This St. Just card is going to be very, very pricey. I think you're looking, honestly, for the first week or two of the game minimum, you're looking at about 30,000 coins. And that is just because he looks so very good. 93 pace as a centre-back, literally sentinel or backbone if you want to get the passing up as well. And you've got a hell of a card in your hands. Like, he is just ridiculously good. And there are other very good options you compare straight to him as well. So his price does go up for that reason. Being Dutch, Portuguese League have got some good cards as well. Other than that, though, I think for a starting team, I think this is a real good initial start. But like I say, a couple of changes that I would make. The players I would be taking out, this is mainly for the sake of chemistry, because everyone here at the moment you can see is on max chemistry. I would be taking out Neves, Alvarez, Pulisic, and Cucurella. Those are the four I'm changing. Pulisic and Alvarez are mainly for the sake of chemistry. Pulisic needs another Chelsea or American player, so to take Cucurella out kind of then makes it very hard to get Pulisic chemistry. So we'll start off with the easy change, which is Matthias Nunes in straight away for Neves. It's the exact same links, but a considerably better card. That's the main thing I would say here. I think this card is going to be utilised quite a lot because there's a lot of very good Portuguese Wolves players, shock, that at the start of this game. So I think Nunes is an obvious bring-in for Neves here. Up front, I'm bringing in Callum Wilson. Saka can play left mid, and then Malakia at left back. Now, Malakia, I'm fairly sure, can be any left back as long as there's another nation of his in the team, or obviously he plays for another team. So I could have gone Tierney here, for example. I think Target's the only left back for Newcastle that we know of, and his card doesn't look that great. And then you've got like Johnny, but Johnny for me has got a very similar card to to Kukurea. So this could have been Tierney as well, or it could be Malakia. I think either way, it looks pretty good. Saka being able to play on the left and the right is fantastic because it just gives you that option of you know, having that extra choice. Alternatively here, you just need this to be an English left mid. I don't know how Harvey Barnes is looking. I don't remember off the top of my head, but there must have been a reason I didn't pick him. But Saka, again, I just think ticks that box really nicely and is a very, very good looking card. And from there, I think that as a starter team, I just think already that looks a bit more complete. I just think it looks a little bit better rounded. You've got a little bit more pace in Wilson than you did in Alvarez, but not crazy amounts. Obviously, slightly lower shooting and lower passing. But again, easily boosted both of these guys. I think Horta with like an engine could be a very good first couple of weeks card while you're saving up to then maybe improve and progress upon that. Another card that I think would be fantastic to try and get in at some point would be something like a Guedes. Throw him in there, and then obviously you've got to work. This would then have to become Tierney if you wanted to use Saka to get that Arsenal link. But I think this now, hopefully you guys agree, compared to what we had just a second ago, looks a lot more complete. I think it is going to be a bit of a mid-price team. I think players like St. Just bring that price up quite a bit. I think Martinez is going to have a bit of value, even though he's a little bit shorter. But I think this is a nice team. I really do think this is pretty good. And I think for the start of the game, pretty solid starting team. So thank you, Diogo, for sending your team in. Let's look at team number 2. Our second team sent in is from our man Pengu. And again, very, very good starting squad. I think this is going to be more expensive than the first team that we looked at. A couple of things just off the bat. Not everyone on full chemistry. Lema is off chem because he hasn't got enough links. And Nunez is actually on 0 chemistry because he cannot play CDM. So one of the first immediate changes, there's only 2 changes I'm making to this team. One of them is the formation straight off the bat, because Lema can actually play as a centre mid. So you can convert him to play centre mid and he's all good. And Paqueta can go to cam, so he would also be fine here. You can see everyone here is on chem apart from Lema. Now, straight off the bat, if you didn't want to change anything, all you need is an Austrian manager. Everyone's on chemistry. Just to throw that out there before I make any other changes to this team. Because I really do think this looks really nice. I really, really do like this team a lot. This is going to be expensive, though. This front 3 here alone, I think you're looking at well over 100,000 coins. Well over 100. I think you might even be pushing 150 for that front 3. That is not going to be a cheap starting attacking trio. Rashford's probably going to... They're probably going to be around 50,000 coins each. I won't lie to you. Anthony could be expensive just because of the new hype around him. The fact that he's going to be probably... I'd be very surprised if he doesn't get a 1 to watch. Guedesh's card, I think, looks absolutely disgusting. I think this is an unreal looking card. And Rashford is a very good starting card as well. And I think all 3 you're looking at around a 50k mark. So straight off the bat, very expensive squad. Klosterman's going to be expensive. Salaba's going to have some price to him. Nunez, as I said, I think is going to be popular, so a little bit to him. Paqueta and Lema, I don't see them being crazy expensive, but I see both of them being very good starter teams. Lema is somebody I've talked about countless times on TikTok, on Twitch, on YouTube. I think this guy is going to be a very, very nice starting card, and I think, just like the Start 22, absolute unit of a card. The only change I made, and this is just to allow for... if you didn't want to have to be, you know, just to get rid of the sake of a manager. But I mean, again, if it's like 22, you have to have a manager in. But managers is what it is. The only change I made here is Szoboszlai in. Everyone else stays on chemistry. You have enough Premier League players that you've got 2 ticks on everyone, and then they have a link in some way to somebody else, whether it be by club or nation. And then Szoboszlai just gets that final tick in the Leipzig box, which guarantees 4 Leipzig players 3 chemistry, 2 bits of chemistry for 4 Leipzig players, and 1 bit of chemistry for 3 or more Bundesliga players. So that was the only change I made, really. I think Szoboszlai is a slightly more completed cam than Paqueta, but I think Paqueta, being Brazilian, playing in the Prem, probably will be that a little bit more expensive. And I think, but honestly, I think it's much of a muchness. I think that's down to personal preference as to which of those cards you would prefer. I think Szoboszlai and Paqueta both look very, very usable. But yeah, I think out of the 2 teams we've looked at so far, this is definitely, as I've said a couple of times, more expensive. And I think for that reason, it's, you know, it's a more complete team. I think this is a team that you would run a little bit further into the game than the first one. But this, you're going to need over 200,000 coins, I think, or around probably over 200,000 coins to buy this whole squad. So it's really going to depend on how quickly you can get this team together and how lucky you are with packs. I think that's more the point than anything there. But I really like this team as well. I think so far both teams have offered something a little bit different, but I've really liked both. Thank you, Pengu, for team number 2. Let's look at our last team of today. Okay, our final team is from our man BC Season. And again, kind of, there's similarities from this one, obviously, to the other team as well. You've kept the Ramsdale, we've kept the Saliba, the Nunez, the Lema, the Raum, Guedes, Anthony. There's a lot of similarities here. The only difference is the tweaking of obviously certain players here. So Musiala and Mazuri coming in, super smart. They both get themselves a Bayern Munich link, plus they total up to 5 Bayern Munich. So now you've got 3 from Leipzig and 2 from Bayern Munich. That guarantees chemistry across all 5 of your Bundesliga players. So with that, all that means is, say for example, at some point you're like, actually, you know what? I'm going to save up. I'm going to save up a lot of coins, and I'm going to get myself a Goretzka. Goretzka comes straight in for Musiala, and you don't have to change anything else. You know what? I'm going to save up, and I'm going to get Klosterman over Gvardiol. You do that. You get Nkunku over whoever. It allows you to really make those changes without having to like alter loads of your team, or if you get lucky and pack someone big that fits into it. I really like that. And you've done obviously a similar thing as well with the Premier League players. 2 from one team, 2 from one team, 2 from one nation. Super smart. Ticks all your boxes. You're good to go. 6 from the Prem, 2 chemistry each, and the 1 other chemistry from everything else. Very, very smart team. I really do like this squad a whole lot. There's a couple of changes that would be preferable, in my opinion, things that I would like to change. But the issue with it, honestly, is it makes it very difficult for chemistry. The only change that I sort of sat here and made myself personally was I took out Gabriel Martinelli for Saka, and then you need a Brazilian manager because Antony would be missing a chem point at that point. But a Brazilian manager, I'd imagine, would, you know, it's going to be like Brazil and French managers. They're going to be expensive at the start of the game anyway. But sadly, it does have to be Brazil. Getting a Prem manager doesn't tick anything else because you're still 1 away from that final piece of the puzzle there. Outside of that, I think the only other change I would have considered would have been, is there anyone else that can come in for Musiala short term on a cheaper budget? And the answer to that is sadly not really, because I think the issue, man, I can't type. The issue you come into here is Bayern Munich have got such a good squad that it becomes very difficult to change anyone unless you get the big boys. So unless you get yourself, you know, like we said, like a Kimmich, or you get yourself a Goretzka, I think Gravenberch and Musiala offer very different things, but both look really good at the start of the game. But you could go for someone like Sabitzer as well. Now, Sabitzer obviously ticks his own box anyway, but Sabitzer, Gravenberch are 2 very good options. They both come in. Obviously, all you need to do is potentially change formation if you put in Gravenberch, because I think he can only play centre mid. He can. So that was the only tiny change that I even considered, and that's not even because I think Musiala's bad. I think Musiala's going to be really good at the start of the game. That dribbling is absolutely outrageous. But the only reason I was thinking Sabitzer is it's maybe just that little bit more rounded, and you've got someone in the middle of the park that can shoot. Because if you have Musiala in there, 73 for a cam isn't the end of the world for the start of the game. I mean, it's more than Martinelli's got. It's only a little bit less than Antony. I just thought Sabitzer maybe comes in and offers more of an attacking cam option. But realistically, I think that's a really, really nice starting team. And if you were to keep Musiala as well, I think, again, it's very, very, very nice. Again, I think you're looking at over 100,000 coins just because Guedes Antony already. I think you're looking at 100,000 coins at the start of the game there anyway. And I think you're probably looking at around 50,000 coins for the rest of the squad. Missouri might be a little bit more because Bundesliga right back isn't exactly a well established position. There's not like 1,000 different amazing options. I think Frimpong comes in as a really good option that will be expensive at the start because of his pace, because of his links as well. But I think, again, this is a really, really nice team. The chemistry super, super smart. You've given yourself options, like I say, with those specific teams, and then these clever little links you've got between players, I think works really nicely. Again, BC Bro, I think you've done a really good job here, and I think it's a really, really solid team. But that is it for this video. Apology if it feels a little bit quicker. It is currently 4:47 in the morning. I've woke up before work, and I wanted to get a video filmed because why not? So if you guys have enjoyed this, then please do a like on the video. Supports me, the video, the channel out a whole bunch. Don't forget, if you would like me to look at your teams as well, hashtag Hursty23 on Twitter, and at me, it's at Hursty Games. Link down below for my Twitter. Feel free to go over there and post pictures of your teams, and I'll try and do a few of these every now and again. If there's something you guys want to see, make sure you hit that sub button, turn notifications on to be told any time that we upload a video. But catch us on the live streams. It's Hursty Games over on Twitch. Link down below, and make sure you check out the channel sponsors while you're down there. Thank you again for supporting the channel. That's it from me. I've been Tom. You guys have been awesome, and I will see you soon. Look out, and of course, wash your hands.
Nah, his name
in a
is
bit.
Hursty. Slap bald head, yeah, it'll probably hurt me. Bang top bins, it'll probably hurt you. Ginger, streamer, platform, YouTube. Drop a name in the chat, we'll say hello. Entertained, yeah, you already know. Capital H, yeah, I'm a read it slow. Hursty Games, yeah, you already know.